trying to help children that weren't born to me was something that needs to be done. These families need help. For me, it wasn't about trying to have more children or building my family or doing any of those types of things. It was simply, I seen something and needed to do something.
Once we had our own kids, we realized that we were in a place now where we could provide that stable, loving, supportive home for kids that needed a safe place. We reopened our home, and we've had 12 additional kids come through our home in that time.
My mom, who adopted me, is part of this reason why I do this, right? She took me off the reserve, a sick little boy. She helped save my life, right? She's part of why I do this. My dad is part of why I do this. Growing up in the family I did is part of why I do this. Getting to a point where I just want to give, and not stop giving.
As a child in a kinship home or foster home, identity is super important. Having a relationship with the bio parents is probably one of the most important pieces. I would say it's just like co-parenting. If you have a dad and you can't co-parent, it's awful for the kids. They need to see that their mom is a good person or their dad is a good person because that's who they are. But at the same time, teaching them that it's okay. Sometimes family that is blood isn't there, but as you get older, you create your own family. So just because they're not blood, it's the meaning behind family that's important. My name's Jenny. I'm a kinship parent. I was kinship for 6 to 7 years, and then we went into adoption, and I work at Alberta Foster and Kinship Association. My journey as a kinship parent, it's been good. Like, we were lucky. We had a really good case team. All of us clicked. We had good communication. It brought a whole different set of happiness into our lives, and it was fulfilling, like something that we were missing. I'd say the most challenging thing about being a kinship parent is it's like your third party parenting. You can do basic like day-to-day things, but to get immunizations or to get a counselor involved, you have to have their signature. So because we're not the legal guardian, we just have day-to-day decision making, it's a weird feeling. You know, you love that child like yours. You do everything that you would do with your bio kids, but you have to ask permission for things that are, you know, related to doctors or signing. We couldn't sign like a basic consent form that says, you know, they can participate in news things or, you know, those are really big things that kids want to be a part of, and we have to sit them down and say, like, it's not up to us. Emotionally navigating myself when I first got the girls was really hard. They come in with habits, behaviors that have been learned behaviors, so you have to like reteach them. So basically you're starting all over again, and baby steps, right? Because they're coming with trauma. I never dealt with a kid with trauma. They're coming into a home that they don't really know. There was a lot of tears, a lot of timeouts for both of us. You know, you're gonna go to your room, I'm gonna go to my room. It just takes time. You just have to be patient.
As a kinship caregiver, patience is so important. Patience with the process, patience with yourself, patience with a child or youth that's in your home, patience with your family, patience with the bio parents, patience with the community. Your role as a kinship caregiver is complex and comes with many unique challenges. Often a sense of wanting to fix, wanting to make things better, wondering why things aren't happening as quickly as you would hope that they would. So this patience is so important ultimately for that child or youth that's in your home so that you can create a placement that's stable, that's safe, one where that child or youth feels that they belong and are supported.
I think the biggest thing being a kinship parent taught me is that I know how to use my voice. I may be a little bit shy, but I definitely am very knowledgeable about handling the system and knowing my kids good enough to know what's best for them. My youngest, when she first moved in, she couldn't read. She couldn't write her own name. She's getting A's and B's in school. Now she has good days all the time. My oldest was scared to ask for toilet paper. Scared to say, oh, we're out of milk. Many nights, I would hear her crying and I would go downstairs and she didn't even know why. She would just go silent and not talk about her feelings. Now she does. She feels safe. You can tell that she is confident in who she is. There are a lot of factors that help change these girls. Stability, consistency, being open and honest with her about things that were happening in her life, giving her choice. We needed to include them and we needed to make sure that they knew that their voice was heard, making sure that they were loved and doing it in their comfortable way. Discipline. When a kid gets disciplined, they still need to know they're loved. You can't scold a kid and then just leave it like that with those unsettled feelings, especially when they've been through trauma. And no surprises either. Talking about rules, talking about consequences. A lot of those talks had to happen to create that consistent, safe environment. I feel that giving kids a voice, especially when they're in care and have been through trauma, is so important, probably because I was in care. And the one thing I understood very deeply was you feel like you're owned. You feel like you don't have a decision in anything. So it was important for me to let them know that they do have a voice. It is their body. It is their life.
Connection is so important to the well-being of them as they experience and go through this situation. Without that connection, trauma evolves. So by you providing this safe, stable environment and that continued connection with them, you're limiting the impacts of what's happening to them in their lives right now.
Kinship is so important because you get a chance to have that relationship with that child before they come into your home. It's less impactful. As a child going into a strange home, that rocks your world. They are fearful, they're sad, they've lost everything. This brings more things that are familiar into their lives instead of complete loss and grief.
You have that child or youth in your home because they are connected to you. Imagine a child or youth from your family unit not being able to stay within their family unit. And they have to go and live with somebody that they don't know, in a community that they are not familiar with maybe customs and traditions that they've never experienced before. They would feel isolated, alone, trying to navigate that whole environment and often wondering why. Why do I have to be here when what I know is over there?
If I was talking to a new kinship parent, I think the biggest thing that I would tell them is just roll with the punches. You need to be flexible. There's going to be a lot of things that you don't like. Talk it through. Don't be scared to ask questions, and make sure that the kids know that they're welcome and they're loved, that they're home, but it's not about them adapting to us. We need to adapt to them.
Family is important to the child's stability, to minimizing the impact of the trauma that they're experiencing from being removed from what they know as normal. No family is perfect, and we can only do the best that we can and to support each other and the children so that they can grow up as healthy as possible.